Hello, fans, and welcome to the Baker's Dozen episode of the Midwest Donut Review. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That is my son, Eric Leggett. He's in Sacramento, hence the Midwest show title. We're so smart that way. Number 13, Eric, what do you think, man? You think we'd make it this far?
No. Honestly, I thought we'd get maybe 4 or 5 episodes in and be like, yeah, that's probably good.
I mean, the low bar for this show is that we get donuts every Friday morning.
That's true.
So,
yeah, if it means I gotta, record myself, I'll get donuts. It's fine.
Okay. Because I got to be honest, without the show, I don't know that I would go every Friday to get donuts.
No, I definitely wouldn't.
You would sleep in, I know you.
Yes, I would absolutely sleep in.
All right, so lucky number 13 is a Baker's Dozen, and alarmingly for me, I found a Baker's Dozen donut shop here in St. Louis.
Hell yeah. Did you let them know that this is a big deal for them?
No. We'll have to reach out after see how the ratings go. All right, so for those of you unfamiliar, Eric on the West Coast, me in the Midwest, we buy the same 3 donuts. We compare, contrast, size, price, tell you about the place, and we'll give you a little bit of fun while we're here. So as we normally start our shows today, and every show, Eric, do you have donut news of the week for us?
I do. Before I get into it, I just want to say, I want to rant a little. Every time I go and look for donut news, it is flooded with whatever new fucking concoction the sickos over at Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme have made. It's every week. There's like a new thing. Hey guys, you don't need to do that. You don't need a new thing every single fucking week. Like, Krispy Kreme, I think, has like a new like super moon donut. Whatever. I don't know. I didn't look, but I saw fucking 20 articles about it. Because God forbid you go on this planet without knowing that Krispy Kreme's got a new donut coming out. So that's just my rant. They need to stop. They need to stop.
I'm going to add just a little bit to the end of that rant is whenever you would Google something like, we're trying to get Jim Gaffigan and Will Ferrell on our show.
Yeah.
And
but yes.
When you Google celebrities who love donuts,
mm-hmm.
invariably every celebrity with a donut in their face is either a Krispy Kreme donut or a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
Seriously, no celebrities eat donuts from mom and pop shops. It is It's so over the top. And I get it. They're the big corporate monsters, and they're the ones who throw all the money. But really, none of these people go to a mom and pop shop and are like, hey, these are some fabulous glazed donuts. Better than Krispy Kreme, which is not difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then get a snap with that owner, and that owner puts it out. All I see is the Dunkin' Donuts room and the Krispy Kreme room, and there's all the celebrities smiling, eating their crappy donuts.
It makes me sick.
Anyway, so enough of the rant. We got good news. And before you start, your donut news of the week was the apple cider donut beer last week.
Yes.
And I have searched high and low here in the Midwest. The closest I can get is outside of Chicago. It's about a 4-hour drive of a craft brewery that does the apple cider donut beer. And did not make the trek, did not do the 8-hour drive round trip. See how it was.
Are you committed to the show or not?
I should be committed. That is true. Not to the show. And locally, Total Wine and More does carry 2 brands of apple cider donut beer. And I have not made it to those places because one is in Michigan and the other one is in Iowa, I think. So I'm not even buying a local product that way either. So,
I mean, still Midwest.
Okay, so for the next show, then that'll be part of my review. I will make sure to have some of those beers, and we'll see how it goes.
I bet we can do an episode where we try an apple cider donut.
For sure. We got to do it soon.
We have like 3 months, but
I don't see apple cider donuts in December here in St. Louis. I don't think I will.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes sense. You guys have more months of when it's cold.
Yes.
So it only got fall weather like last week here. So
okay. So
we're going to be milking that.
So
here in Sacramento.
I want to. Well, I'll see if we can knock it out maybe next show. I'll find some places that do the apple cider donuts, and even that, honestly, is not a readily available donut here.
Yeah, it's usually not like a shop will just do that. Usually, you have to go. Like I know for here, for instance, like you have to go to like I don't know, like a pumpkin patch or some shit that has like a snack bar or whatever. They usually do apple cider donuts.
So let's mark that down as a distinct possibility for next show to do the apple cider donut.
Yeah.
See if we can do that. All right, so we're done with the riffraff. Give me some good news this week, Eric.
Okay, so this is good news for our friends over in the UK. Donut bar.
They probably number in the dozens.
Yes. So if you're in London, guys, donut bar where you can make your own to open first UK shop in South Essex Primark. This is a donut bar where you create your own donut.
I love the idea.
So it is an Australian donut company called Lena Lou Donuts. To welcome the donut company, the first 100 customers will receive a free donut. It offers a menu of sweet donuts, bagels, coffee, milkshakes. So, what are you picturing when you hear make your own donut?
That there's a dough, you pick it out, they'll fry it for you, and then you pick your toppings.
Okay. That is too much.
Okay.
It is very much super, super simplified. And this is not again, because it's not America, this is not a breakfast item.
Oh, okay. We have learned that.
Yes. I went to lenaloudonuts.com just to see how they operate. And they have a very nice thing on their website on the step-by-step process on how it happens. So step 1, what do you think step 1 is?
Pick your dough.
Nope. Inject the filling.
Oh! Okay.
So it's already like a shell donut.
Okay. All right.
And you pick a filling. Step 2, this is a giant step up. We are immediately going into unheard of territory. Step 2, soft serve. So you have a filled donut, put ice cream on it.
Wow. Oh.
Step 3, chocolate drip. Step 4, it says crumble yourself. I don't love that terminology, if I'm being completely honest.
There are many Saturday nights when I've crumbled myself.
Yeah.
I mean, a night out and you're like, somebody's going to need to help get me home. I'm pretty crumbled.
It looks like crushed up like candy or cookies can go on it. Step 5 is more like sauce. Looks like they're putting like a caramel sauce on it. And then step 6 is unfortunately sprinkles. We still can't fucking get away from it. You psychos. But hopefully you don't have to do all the steps. But yeah, these look fucking insane. I looked at it, and I thought they were cupcakes. I looked at these photos. I'm like, this is a cupcake. Nope, it's a donut.
Isn't this very much like Froyo, where you go in and you pick your whatever frozen yogurt flavor you serve yourself?
I'd say
And
it's
then,
a little bit like that, except they do it all for you.
Okay.
And they do offer just, I mean, I want to say regular, but they're not really regular because they're still pretty like highfalutin donuts. There's like a cookies and cream donut where they put like an Oreo, like a full ass Oreo, and there's like icing and like buttercream icing on it. There's a Biscoff Crunch donut. They fucking love Biscoff over in Europe.
Do. Yeah.
So yeah, this is 100% just a dessert place. There's no way. This is not a spot you go in and get a dozen donuts. Like this is
No.
no. But right now they have 2 locations, one in Australia and one in London. So
Okay.
who knows? Maybe this will come over to the U.S. soon.
We could jump on this before it gets global. Open our own. No,
That's not
we
a bad
can't.
idea.
No,
Yeah,
we're
no,
not going to.
Definitely not.
All right, so thank you for the news of the week. And what I want to do, I try to find some donuts from around America that are a little bit crazy. And so I've stopped at 2, and you'll see why pretty quickly. In Honolulu, you ready for this pronunciation?
Yep.
Kamehameha. Kamehameha. Kamehameha Bakery.
Yep, you got it, man.
That was the perfect one. They do poi glazed donuts. As you know, poi is made from the taro root.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a brilliant purple donut already. So it's frickin' beautiful to begin with. And it's simple glaze. They make it in a malasada style, which is a Portuguese donut. It's a yeast donut, but made with taro. So if you find yourself in Honolulu, it would be pretty much a different sensation than most people have eating donuts. So give it a try. The second one is in Portland. The big one in Portland is called Voodoo Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
But they have gone everywhere.
Yeah.
They have 4 in Oregon, 4 in Colorado, 8 in Texas, 3 in Washington, 1 each Illinois, California. There's a Voodoo Donuts, Florida, Tennessee, Arizona. So what started out as a really cool craft donut place has now become a chain. So I'm not saying they're all bad. They're not a Dunkin' Donuts by any stretch. But they just have, if you have 24 shops across America, you're going to lose a little bit of your uniqueness. You just are. Because that 24th shop is not operating under the same one as the original. It's just not.
There's no way you go into the original shop in Portland and then like a shop in Texas and you're getting the same experience.
Yeah.
You're just not.
So I wanted to mention Voodoo because of what they started, and maybe they've grown in a way that I can't appreciate yet. But the other one in Portland is called Blue Star Donuts. And the reason I'm only doing 2 shops today is because this place has such unique flavor combos. I think it needs a minute to highlight.
Okay.
Apple brandy crumble.
That sounds great.
Vanilla cake donut smothered in a tart, sweet, fresh apple glaze made with a barrel-aged apple brandy from Portland's Clear Creek Distillery, and then it's topped off with salted Marcona almond crumble for a little salty, crunchy kick.
That sounds fucking awesome.
That sounds like a great combo. Orange olive oil donut. So when you do olive oil, when you're baking, it gives it such a rich, moist flavor.
Yeah. Please don't ever say moist like that ever again. That was way too much power to that word.
This is their take on a powdered sugar donut. they do an orange vanilla cake donut.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it is made with an olive oil powder that has been fused with spices and fennel. So you're getting a savory powdered sugar kick on an orange cake donut, which sounds great.
Orange and vanilla is like my favorite flavor combo. It's so good.
So I know. To keep going, their OG, it's the horchata glazed donut. It's a brioche ring donut.
Ooh.
And it is made with the horchata glaze, which is a rice milk base with fresh ground cinnamon and pure vanilla bean paste. So that sounds like a great... That's the original. That's what they started with. And that's an amazing donut.
Yeah.
Raspberry, rosemary, old-fashioned.
Ooh.
It's a buttermilk donut. Fresh raspberry puree is combined with hibiscus tea and an herbal note of rosemary. It is the creaminess of the buttermilk old-fashioned for a sophisticated treat, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So those are just some. There are probably 6 or 8 more that are very interesting, and so I was happy to come across this joint. And Blue Star Donuts in Portland. So if you find yourself anywhere up in the Great Northwest, give a stop and then post something on our comments section. Let us know that it was worth the trip.
Portland is like not super far from Sacramento. That's always a place where I'm like, man, if I want to get away for like a weekend or something, like take a train up to Portland, just hang out there. So I don't know. Maybe sometime I can head up to Portland.
You do have a cousin in Portland. What? Shaddy's oldest daughter, Malia, is in Portland. So
okay.
Just
I didn't know that person existed. So.
Break a donut. Break a little bread. Hey, I'm coming up. Let's have a donut.
Let's get donuts.
You'll find out right away if you love her. I mean, you're my cousin, but if you don't like donuts...
Yeah, because if they say no, then I'm like, all right, cutting off contact.
All right, so to kick off the show, we always do the glazed donut. Eric, have you partaken? Tell us about your place.
All right. I went to Stanley's Donuts, 3710 J Street here in Sacramento. Very cool location. It's got a lot of stuff nearby. I like it. They got Pachamama Coffee, like right next door, which is a fucking cool little place. It's very cool. Good coffee. I've been told. I don't drink coffee, but the people I know that do, they're a fan. So, okay. Stanley's Donuts. I like this shop. I've been there a few times before already. So their glazed donut, I'd say, is definitely above average for a mom and pop shop donut. It's a really, really good glaze. And, again, we're getting, like, super close to glaze on the bottom. Like, it ran off enough and surrounded the donut enough that, like, you know, without explicitly turning it over and glazing it, we're getting, like, dangerously close to glaze on both sides. So that's obviously, you know, a plus one. It's a thick donut, and it's not light either, which I think is good. It's not a donut where you can kind of get lost in it, where it's super, like, crazy fluffy in there, and it's big, and it's also pretty dense in there, which I think is good, because, you know, if you find a giant donut, you bite into it, and it flattens out because there's so much air in there. That's not very fun. That's not a fun experience. So yeah, it was a filling glazed donut, which I like. You know, this was I believe $1.50, so not terrible, but not, you know, great either. I've had cheaper ones, but I've definitely had ones of similar price that definitely weren't like as filling or as good as this one was. So I think I want to give this one a 3.9.
Okay, that's a strong start. How big is this glazed donut?
This was around 3 3/4 inches across, like circumference, I guess,
Okay.
or diameter. I don't remember what word is the across the donut.
If you say 3 3/4 across, everybody knows what you mean.
Okay, cool. And it was probably like 2 inches tall. Like,
Okay.
this is a pretty big donut. And again, like I said, like it was a good amount of density in there. Like, it wasn't like a cake donut. It was still fluffy enough to eat and not, destroy yourself. But,
Or crumble yourself.
Or crumble yourself, yeah. Yeah. Very, very good glazed donut at Stanley's Donuts.
Okay, 3.9 is a good way to get out of the gate. And so, as we've mentioned on a few occasions, there is a Baker's Dozen Donuts. And for our Baker's Dozen show, it made perfect sense. They are at 9601 Page Avenue in Overland here in the St. Louis area. Initially, the glazed donut, a little small. It's 4 inches by 3.5 inches, a little oblong, not the good round donut that we picture in our minds. It's only 1.5 inches tall. It has a really good glaze, not excellent. I mean, we have really set the glazed donut bar the last couple of shows here in St. Louis. And this is a good glaze. Not too sweet, and it's put on very well. It is not as airy as I like. You had talked about when you bite into a donut and it sort of disappears. I love that sensation of a big fluffy donut. You take a bite and it squishes down and it melts. When you warm a glazed donut in the microwave and you take a bite, it squishes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that sensation. This one holds back a little bit. Not exactly cakey, of course, because it's not a cake dough, but not as airy as I thought it would be. The great news, all of my donuts were $1.15 today.
Damn.
So that's a really good price. And they do, yes, have a Baker's Dozen special that if you get 13 donuts, it costs $1.05. So to get 13 donuts for $14 is quite remarkable. The bottom line being, it better be a pretty good donut. This is a good glazed donut. You brought 13 of those into work on a Friday, people would be very happy. I'm going to start, this is a 3.6 glazed donut for me here today, only because, as the last couple shows have shown, there can be a really excellent glazed donut.
Yeah.
And for $1.15, solid, you would not be disappointed to get the glazed donut for Baker's Dozen Donuts.
All right. So our next donut was a chocolate iced vanilla cake donut. And mine was okay. My main gripe with this donut is the icing. I showed it a bit to camera, and you'll see if you go on our Instagram, Midwest Donut Spot, I post pictures of the donuts. And you'll see in this picture, the icing looks a little off. And so a couple things might have happened, because I've seen this happen before. Either the icing was made too thin, or they iced the donut while it was still too hot. Because I like icing on a donut. Look, I don't want a thick, overbearing icing, but a lot of that comes with the flavor. I think when you can kind of see the donut through the icing, that's not great. The icing needs to cover the donut. It should not be thin enough or melted off to the point where it's become transparent. So that was really my main gripe with this donut.
It's the difference between icing and glaze.
Yeah.
Right? And,
Yeah,
and
and
a cake
it's
donut should have icing.
it's icing, not glaze. So yeah, it's the vanilla cake donut itself. I thought was really good. It wasn't overly sweet. I did like the texture of it a lot. It wasn't for how compact this donut was. It was only 3.5 inches across, and it didn't have like a huge hole in the middle. So for how compact this donut had become, it really wasn't crazy dense like cake donuts can be. It was still pretty light and fluffy inside, which I thought was really good. So I think the vanilla cake donut itself was really good, but I just kind of expect a chocolate icing to enhance that, and it really didn't. I think if the chocolate icing was put on there better, where it wasn't super thin or didn't melt off, I think it would have had a stronger flavor and done more with the vanilla cake donut. But it just didn't, and it just kind of gets lost, which is very unfortunate. So I think I want to give this one a 3.3. Again, a good cake donut, but the icing was not where it needed to be.
And how big was your cake donut? I'm sorry if I missed that.
It was 3.5 inches across.
Okay. All right, so not a great middle of the show for you,
No.
but there's hope. My chocolate iced vanilla cake donut from Baker's Dozen Donuts is excellent. The key is that chocolate icing, and this chocolate icing is chocolatey, not sugary. It's not chocolate flavored sugar. It is a fudge icing, which immediately raises the bar for this donut. The soft, super soft cake. It's not crispy. It doesn't go that old-fashioned route. It has been fried so well. It is a 3 by 3.5. It's a little bit oblong. It's 1.5 inches tall, so not huge. And just taking a bite of the cake donut by itself is excellent. It's almost birthday cake-ish. Not that sweet, but that texture. Mm-hmm. Just by itself with no icing, that would still be a good donut. But then you put good chocolatey, fudgy icing on it, makes it a really good donut. This is a 4.1 for me. And again, for $1.15,
yeah,
you bring in a dozen, and everybody's probably, oh, Bob, no idea how to do the variety. And then everybody eats them. They're like, don't need another donut. That is an excellent donut. You get the chocolate, you get the vanilla, the sweet, the great sensation eating that donut. I love a soft cake donut.
Yeah.
So, well done, Baker's Dozen. Into the 4 category. Love it. So, on to our final donut for today's show. We did have a little bit of trouble finding the same donut, but we have the same general idea. So,
well, to be fair, I don't think we had any trouble finding the same donut.
I got to be honest. I got to tell the backstory here.
Yeah,
we had chosen a maple bar, and so I get in to Baker's Dozen, and this is the twilight zone for me. It's the only one left on the bottom row, and I'm next in line, and that's the first donut I ordered. I need that maple glaze. It's your last one. He picks it up. He's got an open box, and in my mind's eye, he puts that maple in my box. There's only one guy, Gary, and he's a little bit snarky. He's a pistol. If you want to go in and have a little back and forth, Gary's your guy. He's ready to turn up the heat a little bit. It's fun, it's interesting. I'm the only guy he's waiting on. I saw him pick up that maple donut. So then I get my other donuts, and it's kind of a small box, so they're stacked up a little bit. And I'm like, well, I saw him pick it up out of the case, and he had an open box, and that's the box he gave to me. And then half hour before the show, I opened to start taking pictures. No maple in that box. What the F, man? What could have happened?
Maybe Gary wanted that one for himself.
Well,
and
he's the kind of guy that would tell you that, though. He'd be like, no, I'm not selling you this one. And as a matter of fact, at the end, I'm like, yeah, that's enough, kick me out. And he's like, nope, you're getting 2 chocolate Long John.
Hell yeah, Gary.
All right. So, yeah, so I got the 2 chocolate Long John, no maple. So the search for the maple continues. Maybe that'll be next show also with the apple cider donut. I don't know, but...
And the unfortunate part is you do text me every morning. You get your donuts before I do, and you text me, sometimes we can't, when we coordinate with donuts, sometimes you go to the shop and they're not there. So you text me what donuts you get so I can make sure I can, try to find the same ones. And one of the other ones you told me about was a lemon-filled glazed donut. So I was like, sweet, I get that. They've got them all on the tray, and I was like, lemon-filled, and I can see the woman, she's like looking at the donuts to make sure it's a lemon-filled. And I get home, and I look at it, and it's not a lemon. It's not a lemon-filled. This is a raspberry jelly-filled donut.
Gary strikes again.
Gary's fucking going. He somehow is in cahoots with Stanley's Donuts.
Just saw that Leggett guy. I bet his son's out looking too. I don't know.
So,
oh man,
we tried 2 different times today to get the same donut, and unfortunately, the powers that be would not allow it. So while you do have a lemon-filled, I had a raspberry-filled donut, and man, was I disappointed. This was, it's still a good glaze, the regular glazed donut. This was not anything special, and it really wasn't filled nearly as much as it needs to be. Not even close. One of the things you can see sometimes with filled donuts is you can see the hole that was created to fill it. And so naturally you go, well, that's where I'm going to take my first bite. That's where the filling is. And I took my first bite and there was no filling. It's like they went in there, filled the middle. It's like usually you fill the donut and as you leave the frosting tip, you're still filling.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Oh my
what?
God.
You did it again.
No, I didn't. This is nothing. This is nothing.
Like this? Is that
this is
filling the donut?
So you have the donut and you fill it with the frosting or the jelly, and as you're leaving,
so you never fill it a couple times. You just fill it once.
You think you're so fucking cute and funny.
I'm just asking a
donut
question.
That's not a donut question. You fucking sicko. I don't know if I want to fucking continue with the review. I'm trying to be helpful and let people know how donuts are being filled, and you're stomping all over it.
Well, I'm not really. I'm just enhancing it.
That's what you think this is? Enhancement?
No, this is not a show that we're going to talk about enhancement. So...
Oh my fucking God.
You can't escape at this point. Anyway, the point being, it is not a filled donut.
No. I showed it to camera while I was eating. It looked like half of it was filled and the other half, there was nothing. So, my first 2 bites, no filling. I bite to the left side, filling. Bite to the right side, no filling. They are skimping on the filling over at Stanley's Donuts. And that has to be, what's the word? Starts with an R. Resolved. That has to be resolved.
Okay.
You guys you have to put more in there. That is not near. And this one was $1.75. This is 25 cents extra than the regular Rays. You need more filling.
I don't want to interrupt too long, but on that vibe, I have taken 3 bites of this donut. That is the first sign of filling.
Yikes.
This is not going to be a great review.
Yeah. And
So,
the thing is, I did like this filling, the little bit I had. It was definitely a lot of the fillings, raspberry fillings, it's very processed. And this one, you could tell definitely wasn't super processed because the super processed ones are like super smooth. You can tell by how like translucent and how like their texture. It's like God, I can't think of the word. It's almost like a frosting in there with how smooth and this one definitely was not. Like you could kind of feel like ground
maybe
up
homemade?
yeah, you kind of feel like ground up raspberry in there. Like there was that little bit of extra texture, which I thought was really good. So that's, that honestly kind of hurts the donut even more because the filling you did have in there was really good, and I didn't get nearly enough of it. It really bums me out. But I want to keep with what I did. The positives I think should help this donut. So I think I want to give this one like a 3-1. The bottom line is when you're getting a filled donut, you need more filling than that. Just not nearly enough filling.
Well, it seems like you and I got filled donuts from the same book of bakery's notes. Already, this started small. It's a 3.5-inch round, 1.25-inch tall. So it's already a tiny donut.
Yeah, that's pretty small.
The good glaze that was on the donut, really good glaze. And as I showed on the camera, I took 3 Dave-sized bites before the filling showed.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough filling. Where's the filling, Gary? It's a very tart, sweet lemon filling. It's excellent. But I think maybe there's a teaspoon of it in here. Maybe 2 teaspoons. It's already a small donut.
Yeah.
Do you imagine what an excellent donut this would be if they jammed some more lemon filling in there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's a 3.0. It is only $1.15, but again, the expectation with a filled donut, it needs to have filling.
Yep. It's got to be filled.
And it could be an excellent donut, and you're just kind of skimping on the lemon filling. So, yeah, downhill for the filled donuts at Baker's Donuts. So if you go there, the glaze you'll be happy with. Be really happy with the chocolate ice cake donuts and the filled donuts. They probably had 5 different kinds of filled donuts, but they were all this tiny size, and I would be hard pressed to believe any of them are filled enough. So
yeah, and I've been to Stanley's Donuts before. Again, the glazed donut was really good, and they definitely have more of a special variety than I'd say in other shops. Like I remember I went there and they had a maple espresso donut, which was very good. It was like maple ice donut with espresso powder on it, and it was very.
You are not a coffee fan.
No, I'm not. But I am like somewhat of an espresso fan. I think if you like mix espresso with stuff, I'm into it. So I remember I had that before, and that was really good. So they definitely have, I'd say, a bit more variety than your standard donut shop, which absolutely deserves more points. That's more credit to the shop. And again, their glazed donut was very good. But yeah, I think just making sure that icing's on there properly is the way to go.
Yep. And again, shops hiring new people. You got to learn. So maybe this was the new guy, not all up to speed with the process. So, all right. So that brings us to our traditional show closing, show stopper, called the trivia time. Dun, 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 dun. First up, Eric. These small balls of yeast dough are allowed to rise before being deep fried. Proofing, yes?
Proofing.
They are then sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar. It is called filou.
Filou.
Filhos. Southern Europe is your hint. Filou. Who makes...
Okay.
What country loves the
Well, I know
Filou?
Greece does phyllo. Right?
Yes.
Greece has phyllo dough.
Yes.
So that's... I'm thinking around there.
Yes.
Around Greece.
That is certainly Southern Europe. Yes.
So I'm going to say Turkey.
Oh. It is Portugal.
Fuck!
So... But you're close.
I was looking at Portugal, Spain, and I was like, I don't know. But the Filou thing threw me off.
Yeah, it's... You know how Americans like to take everything and make it their own. That's might not be how they pronounce it in Portugal.
So it's your fault.
No.
This is what I'm hearing.
No, I definitely looked it up, and this was how to pronounce Portuguese, Filhos. So,
All right.
Filou. All right, up next. This is fried dough filled with a red bean paste.
Oh, okay.
It's called an donatsu.
Donuts. Okay. This has got to be Japan. There's no way it's not Japan.
It is Japan.
Fuck yeah.
Da.
I am not a fan of red bean paste.
What have
I don't
you
get it.
had it on?
There are like Japanese little shops and restaurants around here that my partner Chrysanthi has gotten me to try some stuff with red bean paste. I'm not a fan. I don't know.
Give it some taste sensation that most people might be familiar with.
Like beans, like refried beans. That's what it feels like in my mouth.
So not a breakfast donut.
No, I don't want that like filled with something. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan.
All right. So, but if you're in Japan, if you find,
I guess
in Japan,
I guess if I'm in Japan, I'll give it another shot.
Do as they do local, right? Give it a shot.
Yep, that's what the saying is.
Okay, our final mystery donut. Schmautabolen.
I like it already.
It translates to lard spheres. So, super healthy. It is a fried dough. Inside, you will find raisins or apples, and they powder sugar the top of it. Schmautabolen.
Okay.
Where do you find Schmautabolen?
So I'm thinking we're in the Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Poland, Lithuania kind of area.
Schmautabolen.
It's gotta be Germany. It's
not Germany.
Fuck!
What is it? It's the Netherlands.
Oh, come on.
I mean...
That's bullshit.
But it is one of the more fun names that we've
It's
ever
right
had
next to
on the show.
Germany.
It is right next to Germany.
The map I was looking at had it. It's too small to fit Netherlands in the thing. And in the key at the bottom, it says like number 1 Netherlands. So I just looked at that. I might have guessed Netherlands, but I just saw number 1, and I'm like, I don't know what country that is.
What? So we have done German donuts on here. Do you remember the name of the German donut?
No shot.
The Berliner.
Oh yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
Berlin.
Yeah, and the JFK speech and. Anyway, so. History, geography, all of it.
You get it all at the Midwest Donut Show.
We're a full-service donut review show. So that wraps up lucky number 13. We already have plans for the 14th. The apple cider donuts. I'm going to grab some of that apple cider donut beer. And what is the other thing we had talked about for today?
I don't know.
Well,
that's the only thing we talked about, but you were like writing stuff down over there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll go through the show again and see if we can find some notes, or anybody can post it in the comment section. I
Yes.
do know that some comments have been coming through. I don't know if you've paid particular attention to those or not.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So,
I see them all. I read them all.
so anything catch your eye that maybe we should respond to, or let them lie?
I respond to them.
Oh, but nothing we need to talk about on the show.
No.
Okay. All right.
Maybe a little more active in the social media. How about that?
Okay. So, how can people get in touch with us, E?
Well, they can comment on the video, like you said. They can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. That's also something we see. The lack thereof, that's for sure. But when they are there, I see them.
Okay.
And really just share this video, share the podcast, wherever you can, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or, anything like that. Just share it, or, share it in real life with a real life person. Maybe you're, sitting with a friend and you need something to talk about. Midwest Donut Review Show, right there.
I am a little surprised with St. Louis being as proud of their donuts as they are, that more people aren't, hey, you need to try this place in Arnold, or hey, you need to try this place in Hazelwood. I'm a little surprised people aren't pumping the tires for the places they love to go.
That's why we got to share this. Whoever you can, share it wherever you can. Gets this in more hands of the people, more ears, more eyes. And that means for us, more interaction and more donut shops to go to.
More donut shops. Oh, life gets better and better. All right, so that wraps up show number 13 of the Midwest Donut Review. That is Eric in Sacramento. I'm Dave in St. Louis. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next show.
Goodbye.